Morning Barbados continues with a chat with Michael Caruso. If you remembered on our old set, we had prominently displayed this CD that says, Dear Michael Angelo, Father's Life Letters to His Son. Well, Michael's back with us this morning, and he's joined by Optimist Esther Walks, Lieutenant Governor Esther Walks. Good morning to you both, and welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning.
You brought the rain back with you, I noticed. Well, and I can't help throwing that one at you, Michael, because in the book, in this new book he has called Little Ideas with Big Results, there is a line in it where he plays, I think he pretends to be a weather forecaster. He says, the sun always shines. Well, you picked the wrong morning, Michael.
But it's an optimistic rain.
but that's a good start-off point, because it means that when we get up and the rain's falling and things look glum and black, it isn't always what it seems. Right?
Actually, you know, the rain is what makes us appreciate the sun when it comes out, right?
There you go. I knew you were going to find the silver lining in that dark cloud. Esther, the reason for bringing Michael back with the Optimists, and why?
Well, Michael is an optimist himself. He's a member of the movement, and we've heard him speak so many times. He's really sent an amazing motivational message at a number of our conferences. So we said we needed to bring him back and just share the message.
Michael, the message is perhaps one that fascinates me a lot, because we talked about the one I said, the sun is out every day. Confrontation is good. There are people who won't agree with you. The one that I like a lot, people don't like to take orders, they like to take part. And let me pick the last one that I marked here. It says, find something you like about people you don't like. Now that's enough to chew on for a while.
Yeah.
How are you going to bring all this together in the seminar? What are we going to be looking at?
Well, the title of the program on Thursday night at the Grand Salle is Personal Power, How to Deal with Difficult People. And we're going to spend some time on the signals that we send. It's a science called NLP, or Neuro-Linguistic Programming. For example, the way you're sitting right now, Dennis, sends a certain message.
And if I go like this, it sends another one.
The thinker pose, exactly right. Behavioral psychologists have studied pattern behavior through the years. They've isolated this to be the thinker pose. Hands across the chest to mean that you're standoffish or maybe confrontational. Forward listening is a great technique. This sends a message you care about the other person. So what could you do during difficult situations to diffuse anger in a person? What could you do in a customer service situation to receive better customer service by reading the salesperson? What could you do to provide better customer service? I know that a large amount of the foreign exchange money here in Barbados comes from customer service.
Yeah. We're a service-oriented country. That's what we call ourselves.
Absolutely.
Or we'd like to be.
So on Thursday night, we're going to try to teach people to become hyper-aware of the signals that we send. There's a lot of humor in the program. I've taught it about 200 times in the last 12 months. I'm all over the place, and it's great to be back in Barbados.
Let me ask you this, Michael. What motivates the motivator?
I get to work with people like Esther. The Optimist is a fantastic organization. Esther referred to it as a movement, and indeed it is. We need something like this in society when and I'm from the United States, when government sometimes lets us down, when politics lets us down, when educators sometimes let us down, and the standards aren't as high as we think they should be. Optimist standards are always high, and it's something that we can always count on.
When you write, you know, the little ideas with big results, people usually ask, and what are the results? So when you go into situations, what would you like to see as a result of one of your speeches? Instant action, action over a period, or concerted efforts to keep improving the situation?
Well, I teach full-day programs to corporations, and I promise the people that bring me in that they will see people practicing these new techniques by lunchtime. That's how quickly, because they're instantly applicable. In our program on the evening of Thursday evening at the Grand Salle at 7 o'clock, I will ask people to send me a success story within 48 hours, and you would love to read my email. People send success right away. I tried such and such on somebody, and it worked.
You can never ever change another person. This is not only work, Michael, this is personal relationships. This is everyday life, because we get into relationships and we say, I'm going to change you. Don't like that. suit. I'm going to make you more relaxed. I'm going to change the person you are. Is it good to change or not to change people?
Well, I think when people figure out that you've changed them, they eventually resent you anyway. So
they don't like what you've become.
But you know, I was teaching a program a few years ago, and a gentleman with a lot of personal power, big booming voice, well-dressed gentleman, he raised his hand and he said, "Michael, I have an exception to your rule that you can never, ever, ever change another person." Mm-hmm. And I said, "What is it, sir?" He says, "Well, Michael, the Lord changed me." Mm-hmm. And I paused for a second, wondering what I was going to say to that one. And I said to the gentleman, I said, "Sir, with all due respect, what I think happened is that the Lord showed you how to change, and then you did the changing." And you know, he went like this, and then I went,
got away from that one.
Well,
that's how it works, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The Optimist Club, I'm working with Michael. Are you targeting a special group of persons? Are you targeting persons in general? What do you hope to achieve with this?
No, I wouldn't say we're targeting necessarily a special group. I think the message that he has to offer can be all-encompassing. Right. I mean, you can have very young people, you can have older people in the workplace. Right. Even. I don't think we're targeting any specific person. Mm-hmm. It's just a good message.
Oh, good. And he's going to be with us for how long this time?
Well, I'll be here a week. In fact, I'm going to do some corporate work. I'm going to do the public seminar. Okay. And we're going to do some work with, is it the Dodds Youth Center?
Okay. Dodds and Somerville.
Dodds and Somerville. Okay. Yeah. Also, again, to pick up your theme from earlier, teaching young people to understand how these signals work for them in real life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It started with the father's life letters to his son. Dear Michelangelo, it's become a life work for you, Michael.
Yes, sir.
What was the most, to you, the most endearing message from Dad?
My dad taught us how to leave legacy. In fact, it's something the optimists do very well, is they have a leave behind. Mm-hmm. In the case of working with young people, it's a chance to impress upon them a certain dogma or a certain discipline about life. Mm-hmm. When my mother died, my father started writing letters to me and my three brothers. And, you know, none of us lived more than 30 minutes away. One of us lived in his house. And he would hand the letter to the guy he lived with, and he'd say, "I saved 29 cents. And the letters had wonderful, wonderful things in them, and that was the lesson, that was the legacy.
Mm-hmm. Lieutenant Governor Esther, pleased to meet you. Michael,
thank you.
It's good to have you back in my
business.
business.
See you again, sir.